currently my gauge cluster does not show me RPM, engine RPM, and that's a pretty important thing to know in a car that's been swapped. So let me show you why. This 240 originally came single overhead cam, and well, that's no longer the case. That's been SR swapped. So my understanding, now I'm no 240 pro here, but my understanding is that the single cam cluster and the dual cam cluster are different. And once I have both of them out, I'll show you the exact differences. But I'm hoping that swapping this cluster is going to give me my RPM signal. Let's find out. Now, if I understand this process correctly, this is all I'm gonna need. I gotta drop this here, pull this off, and cluster should come right out. First step, I gotta pull this bad boy off. I got a screw here, clip right here. Now there should be another one back there, but that one's missing on this car. Just like that. Oh, looks like it's getting caught on the door trim here. Looks like I gotta pull that out too. Just pop that right out. Now this should be able to come out. Yep, here we go. That panel off. Next, I'm gonna have to get this lower panel off, and I know preemptively I gotta unbolt the hood latch release there, so let's do that. Release is loose in there. Now we gotta pull off all those 10 mils. Get this last screw out. There you go. Just pops right down. Nope, I missed one. Imagine that. Okay, last screw there. This will pop out. And because I preemptively took those out for the hood latch, that just lifts up and this whole panel comes right out. Now we're going to pull the clamshells off the steering column. Well, that little piece has to come off first. It's a lot easier than maybe it should have been. I got one here, second one here. Try not to lose our screws like that. Oh, hey. I just found one of my missing buttons under the, oh actually, button right there. Just found under the floor mat. That's pretty sweet. Okay, we got that last screw out of there. Now this clamshell should just pop out like that. There we go. Bottom one is off. Let's set you down a sec. Two hands for this. You know what, before I break something, I think I'm just gonna loosen the bolts on the bottom of the steering column. Alright, I got 12 now. Break that thing loose. The other side here. Okay, I've got those loosened up. There are two more up here. Let's do those. Alright. Look at all that room. There we go. Look at all that space. I can probably just yoink this thing. Wait, yoink. There we go. Next, this whole piece needs to come out. Kind of just surrounds the cluster. So another two screws up here, and then just a bunch of clips on the bottom. Undo these clips on the bottom, kind of like this, and give it a yank, just like that. Out it comes. Success. Alright, this is the easy part. There's a screw there, there, and there, and there's three connectors on the back side, and that cluster's out. Got all my interior bits everywhere. Bunch of screws, but we're getting there. Alright, and the last one up here. This gauge cluster should be free now. it comes. Sure enough, we got 3 connectors on the back side. Peel that out of there. That one doesn't want to come. Here are those connectors I was talking about. They're proving to be a little bit of a pain to get out, but well, let's keep trying. There we go. Come on. Oh, because there's a release on both sides. That would make it way easier. Yeah, look at that. Bam. Got a free cluster. Let's compare the two. Got both clusters side by side right now. This is the one that came out of the car. This is the one that belongs to a dual overhead cam KA engine car. Now, why that's important, you'll see the red line on this one is at 6,900, whereas the red line on the single overhead cam is at 6,000. Now that's gonna be nice for me with the SR, which we didn't get in the US, but the 180 and 200 SX clusters, I believe the red line is at 7,500. Don't quote me on that, but I know it's higher than 6.9. Another big difference is the mile-an-hour difference, 115 and 110. Not sure why the dual overhead cam is lower, but it is what it is. Another thing I'm excited about this cluster is to get this crack out. This one is a little more faded. The lens isn't nearly as clean. That is what it is. I'm also a little concerned about this fuel level meter being low, but this being not completely empty is telling me that it just rests at the last point when it had power. So I'm hoping that when I plug this into my car, it's gonna jump up and match exactly where that needle is. Get this plugged in. I'm not gonna make you watch this whole thing all over again. It's to get it back together, just do it in the opposite order. Which, as always, is easier said than done. Now, as a quick test, while this whole thing's all torn apart, I do want to put the key in the ignition here and see if it's actually gonna work. So, key on here. I got power. You hear the fuel pump going, but that didn't move. That's worrying. Well, let's start the car and hopefully we see some numbers. Make sure we're neutral. Okay, well, none of the gauges work. It might all have been for nothing. It's been about an hour since that last clip. I've been trying to diagnose why this new cluster isn't working. I went inside and furiously Googled, and the dual overhead cluster is supposed to work. So I went in and I pulled, I'm calling this like the wiring, I don't know, the motherboard connections, whatever, off the back of my cluster, because I think it just had bad connections. Those tabs, these ones right here, they had some corrosion on there, and if I wiggled the wires, the connector that plugs in there, the lights on the dash would show up. So I kind of figured I just had a bad connection. So let's show you in the car. So in the car now, it's still all apart, but if I turn the key on, I get my 3 lights down there. Oh, this chime. Here we go. Nothing else on. I mean, the clock is, but that's to be expected. So now if I turn it on, I should see an RPM signal. Just like that. Yes. Fuel gauge went up. Yes. I'm so happy to see that. Oh, what a relief. So happy to... I have RPMs, let's go. It's a little dark, but I mean, you can see we got RPMs. Man. I'll warm it up a little more and we'll give her the beans. I can actually see my RPMs, and 2,500. I made sure I looked it up again. So, this thing can